Oh, it's John Mayfield, the Real Estate Tech Guy. Thanks so much for joining me for this video. We are talking about 5 important tips to help you pass the real estate exam on the very first attempt. So I'm going to go back through the first 2 very quickly. Take your time. No points in finishing early, okay? Read the questions and all of the answers how many times? 2 to 3 times, I think, because those questions are designed to trip you up. Second tip I told you yesterday is to what? Skip the question if you don't know the answer, because chances are they may answer that question down the road. So you always get a chance to go back and look at the questions you did not answer. And then John said, I told you what? I told you, don't be surprised if they throw 5 or 6 tough questions at you. It's not unusual. So don't let that get you upset. That's just something that could happen, and just say, John told me to prepare for that, so I'm not going to let it get me upset. I'm just going to keep moving through, okay? So those are the first 2 tips, and we're going to add tip 3 today to add on to those, and this is the big, important must-do tip. If you don't know the answer and you've narrowed it down to 2, and you're thinking, I just don't know, I think it could be A, but it could be C, but my gut feeling's telling me it's A, you need to go with A, okay? Now, why is that? And this really only applies, I should say, if you've studied very hard. If you haven't studied very hard, then you know what? Just go with whatever you want to go with. But if you've studied hard, and global real estate school students study hard, you want to go with where your gut feeling is. Now, here's why. And I'm not going to get into all the scientific stuff, just to say that somewhere in your brain you've stored that answer, that information. And so the reason you're saying, I think it's A, is because that's stored in deep within your brain. And even though it's not rising all the way to the top, 9 times out of 10, that is the best answer. So go with your gut feeling and don't ever change your answers, period. You've got to trust me on this. Now, the only time I would tell you to change your answer is if you double checked your math and noticed you did the math incorrectly, or you reread the question and you realized you read the question wrong, and now that you figure it out what the correct way to read the question, you see the right answer, yeah, change that. But I'm talking about those questions that you've read it, you've narrowed it down to 2 choices, and you just feel like A's the one. Go with A and don't change it, okay? I'm telling you what, if you go back and change those, you're going to miss them. So just leave them alone. You weren't for certain anyway, but your gut feeling's telling you answer A, and I'm telling you that that's probably something in your brain that's stored there, and so just go with A. And do not, under any circumstances, change your answer, okay? Read the questions carefully 2 or 3 times. Take your time. Number 2 that I talked about yesterday is, if you don't know the answer, skip it. Chances are they'll probably answer it down the road, and don't be surprised if you get 5 or 6 or 7 hard ones in a row. Again, I'm trying to help you prepare for the test. So you know what? They're going to try to use that to rattle you, and you're going to say, no, John already forewarned me you were going to try that trick, and I'm not falling for it. And guess what, Mr. Real Estate Exam Computer? You're going to give me those answers down the road. Speak to that computer, to yourself, lightly, but say, you're going to give me the answers down the road, because I'm going to see some questions and you're going to tell me what those answers are. So just skip the question, come back to it later. And then today's tip, go with your gut feeling. Don't change your answers, unless you just read it incorrectly or you miscalculated your math problems. I would always double check my math problems. Another extra tip for you. You really need to do that. I mean, sometimes you'll have some free softballs, and if you read, And that's the other thing when I say read those questions a couple of times. Sometimes you're like, well, that was a softball. That was an easy question, but you may have read it wrong. And it is an easy question, but you just didn't read something correctly. That's why you have to read those a couple of times, because we don't want to miss any questions like that. So take your time, read the questions a couple of times along with all answers. If you don't know the answer, skip it. Don't be shocked if they give you 5 or 6 that you have to skip in a row. They're going to probably answer those questions down the road. And then go with your gut feeling. Do not, under any circumstances, change your answers unless you absolutely, positively realized you made a math error or you read the question wrong, okay? So we have tip number 4 coming up tomorrow, and I know exactly what many of you are saying right now. John, I love that sport coat and tie. I do. So, but you're saying you've been wearing that every day, John. Well, I'm actually recording these all in one session. So anyway, I hope that's okay. But I hope you like the sport coat and the shirt and tie. If not, I guess you can always just turn your head away and listen to me speak. But either way, I'm just trying to help you pass the test on the first time. And I'm trying to have a little fun with you. So don't just, hopefully you'll have fun. And hopefully you'll say, you know what, I like John. I'm going to subscribe to his YouTube channel and tell many other people about it, because we want to build our channel base up. So be sure and do that. Just go to Global Real Estate School, click on the bell as you just noticed there, and you'll be notified each and every time we go live. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you will go out and make it a great day, and I hope you'll come back for tip number 4 tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a great day.